Mr. Primetime, Deion Sanders. Deion! It's been a long time since you and I last chatted, 6 or 7 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff has happened for you in that time, hasn't it?
A lot of stuff has happened for both of us.
Yeah, well, yeah. We've both been very fortunate, haven't we?
Very fortunate.
You perhaps a little more fortunate than I, but
I don't think so.
Let's talk about your return to football. Sunday was your first game back, wasn't it?
Right.
How long a layoff was that?
Well, I mean, I'm getting back into shape, and I'm with a wonderful team and a wonderful organization.
The Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Man alive.
To be Giants fans out there with
You know, we got a team here we're kind of proud of. Maybe you've heard of the New York Jets.
All right, here we are, the quote-unquote Washington Commanders preview episode. But it's, we're talking about the 3-7 Dallas Cowboys on the One Star Cowboys podcast. I am Kevin Turner. John Machota, Saad Youssef, and Kent Garrison here as well. Those fine fellas from The Athletic. And you should check out their work. And you should follow them on social media and all that stuff. John, let's start with injuries. Where are we? And for full disclosure, folks, we're recording this on Wednesday evening. Where are we on Zach Martin, Tyler Smith, and Jake Ferguson?
I don't know, KT. Who cares? No, I'm just kidding. I know.
It's so hard.
I just want to try and get a laugh out of you right there. No.
I know. It's I really do want to talk about how are you going to stop Jaden Daniels.
I'm kidding.
Not what it's going to be about today.
I would say out of the injury report, the two things that stood out most to me were that, now, they didn't actually practice today. It was a walkthrough. So this is a, what do they call it? It's a estimation. Of participation. Mm-hmm. So Deron Bland, it has him as full. So basically, if it would have been a regular price, he'd be full, which, that would be a big step for him because he's basically been just working off on the side. So that was the big one to me. The other one would be that CeeDee Lamb is listed as limited with the back/foot. And so foot would be a new one there. So it's gone from shoulder to back/foot. So I still think he'll play. I don't think that's anything that would keep him out of the game, but he was limited by their standards. Zach Martin did not practice with the ankle/shoulder thing, but that was also the same for Tyler Smith, who ended up playing last week. He did not practice either. So I think they're just going to give those guys days off and then expect to have them out there on Sunday. So I'd also say that Brandon Cooks was limited. So there's a chance that he could potentially play in this game. And then one other one would be Marshawn Nealon was limited. And so you could potentially be getting back Bland, Cooks, Nealon, and then also Chuma Dogo was full. So those are four players that, if you were getting these teams back and you had like 4 less losses, this would be huge. But this is where we're at.
To paraphrase Micah Parsons from his latest podcast, this is a damn good football team. So you get these bodies back, and I say we make a run.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. That's a good idea. You know what? When I'm in the locker room, I'm going to tell the guys that.
Yeah, tell them that.
You know, after I heard Micah say that, I went to the ESPN playoff simulator thing, and I was like, okay, because you can pick every game. So at first, I'm just picking just the Cowboys games, and I'm just picking them to win every single time. It took until Week 18 Commanders game for them to finally pop up in the playoff picture. So that now, of course, if they won out and, some other teams just struggled, I'm sure mathematically, there's some scenario where they pop into the picture in week 16 or 17. But if you just don't pick any other games straight up, Cowboys winning out would put them in the playoff picture in week 18. So.
Yeah,
you're telling me there's a chance.
There's a small chance. It is amazing, and look.
I also plan on going up to players individually tomorrow in the locker room and sharing that as well. So thank you.
What are we?
Continue.
What are we doing, guys? No.
Well, I hope we're committed.
I hope we are committed to losing as much as possible. And if we aren't, something's wrong. How the heck does it help this organization to win another game?
That's really the only intrigue of the Thanksgiving Day game at this point. And then, if you had like a new regime, like if this was 2020 again, where like Mike McCarthy's not going to get ran, so you would kind of be going, okay, well, who are some building blocks? Who are some players who are going to be here next year? And we can still do that. Like we know Overshone's going to be there. We need to see what Lufau has, and if Nealon's back and all that stuff. The offensive line, Guyton, does he improve? Like those are all little things that we're going to talk about. But the intrigue is the Thanksgiving Day game, which you need to throw at home. You need to throw that thing, which you might not have to. The Carolina game is going to be crucial that you don't slip up and win that game. And the rest, I kind of don't think you have to worry about too much.
Yeah, if the game's close, then you just have like, I don't know. Let me think of something real quick. Like a special teams player just decide to say, hey, well, let's just throw here.
Yeah. Well,
would that be a play maybe?
I don't think that's yeah. I think he's got the green light at all times, it seems.
Yeah, that would be a way. Yeah, I guess it is possible to kind of, yeah. Okay.
The good thing is that the Giants game is at least at home, so that should help for your cause. The Carolina game you have to be a little more worried about because that's a road game, so they might actually mess around and win that one. But no, I agree. Like, look, I don't think that tanking, and I think John mentioned this before in a podcast, I don't think tanking is that bad when you're doing it in this scenario with the Cowboys. Like and when I say that, I'm saying like, there's not a culture of losing and all this stuff where we see in the NBA where, a lot of times you're tanking 3, 4, 5 years in a row. And then all of a sudden there's this stink culture that's just like entrenched in your organization. I don't think the Cowboys are tanking. I don't think they need to tank, but I'm saying having a down year after 3 straight 12-win seasons is not the end of the world. You're not going to have some situation in 2025 where you have to teach these guys to win again or how to be winners. Like a lot of these guys are going to kind of be carryovers from the last 3 years in terms of the pillars of the organization. So I don't think that that's a concern, but to what you said, KT, like I don't think outside of those 2 games you have to worry too much. I mean, there's some games that could be dicey. The Cincinnati game, the Tampa Bay game, like those can be some dicey situations in terms of are you going to mess around and win? But yeah, other than that, I don't really see too much risk.
So I like being sarcastic, and I like to find humor when things are going poorly in life and in covering this football team. So for these podcasts for the rest of the year, I'm probably going to be pretty negative and be sarcastic and make fun of situations that are going on. And if that's not for you, you might not love it. But let me just state for the record here, I'm not going all Micah Parsons. Like, this is just my own belief. You go in the offseason and you hire the right coaching staff and you do well with your draft picks. Let's say I anticipate they're going to have a top 10 pick. I don't think it's that crazy to think that they could be right back to being like the second or third best team in the NFC. Like, I think the Lions are clearly ahead of them and the talent is young and they're going to keep that nucleus together. But like, I look at San Francisco and Philadelphia, they're not ascending. They're not getting to a level where you're just like, I don't know how you're ever going to deal with them. Green Bay's in that mix as well. Like, you tell me that they get the right head coaching or the right head coach, the right staff that kind of brings a spark. Obviously, whatever coach that would be, well, one of the first things they're going to do is address the run game and the run defense, because that's been one of the biggest issues the last couple of years. And you hit on early draft picks in the first, second round, guys that come in and make an immediate impact. Like, and then you have better health next year. Now it's year 2 for Tyler Guyton, year 2 for Cooper Beebe. Like, probably draft another offensive lineman, or maybe I think the team will do more in free agency than they did this year. Not that it's ever going to be a lot, but they'll do a couple extra moves like that. Like, I don't think that this team's that far off from, like, you go right back into next year's training camp and you're just like, yeah, I could see this being like a 10-win team. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, there's a lot of ifs in there. Got to hit on draft picks, got to get the right coach and that, but like, it's not like this team is just like, you're like, you look at that Carolina roster, you're just like, where's the talent? How could they possibly get this thing together? Well, it's not that hard for me to see it. I've just seen it for the last 3 years when they won 12 games each of the 3 years. Like, who is on those teams that isn't going to be on these future teams that was the big difference maker for them? Like, you can make the argument right now it was maybe Dan Quinn, Just because when you've had Dan Quinn and
Sure.
Micah Parsons together, you've won 12 games each of those 3 years. Now, you didn't do anything in the playoffs, but it's not hard for me to see a path to where all of a sudden they're back to being a double-digit win team next year.
Yeah, real quick on that, because this is, as you said, KT, the quote-unquote Washington preview episode. I do think Washington is a team that, that is actually ascending and actually going to be something to be reckoned with, which sounds really weird. I mean, this whole thing sounds weird. Saying that Detroit is the top and then Washington is a team to be reckoned with. I think the funniest thing, by the way, just as an aside, would be a Commanders-Lions NFC Championship game, just because those two teams, along with the Cowboys, we've kind of always had in that breath that these three teams from the NFC haven't reached an NFC Championship game. Lions obviously already broke that, but if it's a Lions-Commanders NFC Championship game, I think that would be hilarious. But
yeah,
I do think Washington is a team that I don't think they're leaps and bounds ahead of the Cowboys, but I do think they're actually ascending and trending in the right direction. Whereas I think Philadelphia, might be better than Washington this year, but I feel like they're not ascending and not going in the right direction.
Yeah, see, I see Philadelphia as clearly better than Washington. I don't think that they're on the same page. Yeah, this year. And
yeah, I'm talking about for the future.
Right, but I need to see more of Washington. There's a lot of, bad schedule, being the upstart. No one expects them to do anything. Nah, all of a sudden you get in that mode where all of a sudden you're the hunted. We're seeing it a little bit with the Texans right now. So I need to see a little bit more there, whereas the Cowboys have been hunted for a while. So I need to see a little bit more there. But when I look at their team on paper, I don't think they're on the same level as Philly. They need another good draft to put underneath them for me to think that they're there. And who knows where that might be. They might not be drafting at the top of each round like they were last time. So, we still have to see that there.
Yeah, and just to be clear, as I said, I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about in the future, because Saquon is great this year, but Saquon doesn't have 3, 4, 5 years of this left, and guys like that. So I guess I'm talking more about in the future, the trajectory of the teams that you're worried about. I'd be more worried about Washington in 2026 than Philadelphia in 2026. At least the way that things are going right now. Again, need to see more from Jaden Daniels, more as in another year. But the way things are trending right now, that's where I'm at.
I think it's funny how fast things can change too. And I might be one of those goobers who maybe overvalues coaching, which, because at the end of the day, it's the players that got to go make the plays on stuff. But I might be one of those guys. And I do think take Cliff away from Jaden Daniels. What happens to him? Take Ben Johnson away from the Lions. I think the Lions are set, but does that hurt their offense dramatically to where it opens up the NFC again?
Take teams seeing Jaden Daniels for a full season.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I love C.J. Stroud. Do you think C.J. Stroud's having the same season he had last year?
This is kind of the old Carson Wentz thing for me. I think that's when I kind of realized it. You can see guys fall off real quick. But the other thing, San Francisco does appear right there at the end of the rope. So I do agree with you. And that's why I agree it's going to be a coveted job, not only because it's the Dallas Cowboys, and no matter whatever sarcastic thing you want to say about the Cowboys, there are people who would go, hell yeah, I'll go coach the Dallas Cowboys. Because a lot of these guys are wired to think they can go move mountains, right? And they're not thinking about the Jerry stuff and all that goes with it. And I do think it will be an interesting thing that it really comes down to a scheme versus having the room in order. Or I hate using the word culture because that can mean a lot of different things, especially when you're talking about the Cowboys. But experienced head coach versus a head coach that's coming in and really counting on scheme. Because Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay all had a little bit of coaching experience, right? But when we talk about those guys, we talk about their scheme more than their people skills and things like that. Matt LaFleur is a way different coach now in year 6 than he was in year 1. In year 1, now granted Aaron Rodgers was there, I don't think he was talking to his players the way that he might talk to them now. And that's where I think you get different. And I don't know what the Jones family is going to prefer when it comes to that. And it's crazy.
Well, from what you just said right there, I can tell you right now, that's why it doesn't make sense for when people throw out I don't know, maybe people are being serious, but you hear the names like the Jason Wittens or the Deion Sanders. I just don't see this team in a situation where you would even do a move like that. Like it would be very surprising if they don't get an NFL coach who's had previous head coaching experience. Like they're not going to. That's why I also don't think Ben Johnson will be somebody that will end up getting the job either. I think they're going to give it to somebody that's already had NFL head coaching experience.
The Deion thing is amazing to me that it's being talked about like it is, because the way it is being talked about is not Deion to the Cowboys. And I know Michael Irvin is one of your big messengers here, and might be Jerry's, honestly, like one of his, like, at least former player he talks to the most might be Michael Irvin. But it's always talked about in combination with Shedeur Sanders, who, A, we don't really know how good he is, and B, good God, do people know how contracts work? You can't do anything with Dak. He is here. That is over. The ship has sailed. There is no Shedeur. So, like, I'm amazed that
it is amazing.
And I don't know if the national media, like, I get it. Go get your clicks. Go get your hot takes. They're not focused on one team. I know how the machine works.
Yeah, that's kind of how life is, even beyond football right now. There's a lot of stuff out there that you look at and you go, well, that's not real or whatever, but it gets clicks and people love it. And so what does that do? Then all of a sudden it gains traction, and then people start talking about it more. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, are you guys asking about this? Because this is a real No, it's really not a real possibility, but I get it. It's fun to talk about when the season's off the rails. I get it.
Well, I think part of it, to be fair, I think is the Cowboys fan base is just so large, and that means that there's a really big outside layer, and it's something as simple as I'm not diminishing those fans that are like just casual fans in terms of their like insight or anything like that, but it's something as simple as knowing a no trade clause. Like that's something that I think takes you have to be on the second layer. Like, you have Dak for 4 years, but there's a lot of people that don't realize that he has a no trade, no tag clause. So even the people that know that he's here for 4 years will be like, well, just trade him in the offseason. But it's like they don't realize that he has a no trade clause, and you can't do that.
Yeah. And there are elements of the NFL. Hold on.
Technically, yes, you can. Like, I don't believe in that whole no trade
clause
thing.
He needs to sign off
right.
on it.
You draft Shedeur Sanders and saying you're bringing in Deion, it ain't going to be hard to talk him out of, hey, where do you want to go? We want to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't say that it can't be done. It's not going to, but it can be done.
That's my point.
But you're also taking a big risk there. What if he chooses to dig in and you're just in a weird situation there with a $60 million backup quarterback? Like, I'm not saying he would do that. The scenario we just drew up, Deion Sanders is the head coach. The taking big risks is already out the window. It's already been done.
Yeah.
I mean, you're all in at this point.
But the point is, like, Cowboys fans are doing, it's the what ifism, which I never want to kill. Like, imagination's great, but the what ifism of this is, well, what if, though, even though he's got the no trade clause, what if he, like, agreed to go somewhere? And I'm like, okay, still, the money is still on your cap, and you still have to deal with that. And that's what's hard to, and that's a part of the NFL salary cap that does get difficult to understand, and I understand it. But when you see the national media doing what they're doing and Michael Irvin doing what he's doing, I'm just going, are we all dumb? Are we all dumb? And you know what we are? I've accepted it. I am.
Listen,
I am.
We're guilty of hypotheticals on this show. We entertain them as much as everybody, but after the hypothetical, they need to say, yeah, but this isn't going to happen. Like, this would be a bad decision for the organization. It would set them back money. Like, there's never that caveat at the end. It's always just the conversation of, yeah, this could happen. I mean, Deion says he's interested, and hit commercial, and then that's the end,
Well, and the other part is that there's a part of you that doesn't want to be on this video for the rest of your life where you're saying, like, there's 100% no chance this will ever happen, ever.
Sure.
And then it does happen. And then your people just keep bringing back this take over and over again because it is so ridiculous.
Okay. You don't want that? I'll say it. There's 100% chance that they will not draft Shedeur Sanders and get Deion Sanders as the coach.
Whoa, can't.
Yeah, I don't think you'd say 100%.
You're going to eat the crow?
100%.
It's less than it's less than 1%, but I mean, Kent, you watched
They could get Deion. They're not drafting Shedeur. They're not doing it.
That was one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
That would be the dumbest draft.
What did he say?
Pick
He
in
said
Cowboys
less than
history.
a 1%, or he said less than a point. What did he say in Oppenheimer? Can you remember it? Right when they're about to test the bomb, he said something like, "Man, what was it again? I don't know."
What are the chances that this goes wrong?
But the percentage. What did he say?
I would take that. That would take that chance. Yeah, every time.
At ending the world.
Yeah.
Or getting Deion and Shedeur. Which one are you talking about here?
Like, I really think like Deion is a legit possibility. I don't think that that's crazy at all. I think it's crazy to think that they would draft Shedeur Sanders if they have a top 5 pick.
I agree. I'm with you on that. I am absolutely with you on that. Would Deion take the job? That's a God. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're falling into the traps.
Yeah, and this is such a outward hypothetical. Look, Dak Prescott's going to be the starting quarterback week 1, 2025. Like, that's just
I agree.
All right, well, here we're doing hypotheticals. We'll go this way with it. How many coaches do you think were available would say no to the Cowboys?
0.
No, there are. I would say I'm just going to say like less than 5. Like, I don't think Kyle Shanahan. I don't see Dan Campbell leaving what he's built by himself. Indeed, not by himself.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I'm talking about everybody. I'm not saying available. I'm saying everybody in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Kyle Shanahan would leave. I don't think Dan Campbell would leave.
No.
Nick Sirianni.
I don't think Tomlin.
I think McVay would.
Reed, no.
John Harbaugh probably not.
I don't know if Sean McVay would leave. Honestly,
I think he would, but his contract's a problem. But I think he would.
Yeah, I don't. I would be definitely on the side of Sean McVay if he didn't have 2 years left on his contract. He would be
pretty great situation.
I think he knows he's
in what way?
Stafford right
when
now,
you win a championship and then like a week later people forget, or winning a championship
awesome.
and
living in LA, rich.
While we're here, does Zach Taylor get run in Cincinnati? Because I mean, we're going to get to see them on the Simpsons cast in a few weeks. Does he get run? Well, I could see that being a guy that Jerry's like, yeah, there's an offensive coordinator right there. And old Joe Burrow liked him. OC for, a Belichick or Vrabel.
He would not be the worst offensive coordinator that you can have. Like he like that could be like I wouldn't laugh that off as like
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I would be now as a head coach. I wouldn't really be about that, but as an offensive coordinator, like you bring in Mike Vrabel as the head coach or something like that, Belichick, whatever, and Zach Taylor's your OC. Like I don't have any problem with that.
I don't either. I actually kind of like it a little bit, but maybe not. I don't know. Well, the point is, there's business, right? Jacksonville, Tennessee, Cleveland, the Giants, Vegas, all at 2 wins. New England, the Jets, Carolina, Dallas. Could be worse, guys. We could be the Jets. You think it's a dumpster fire here? It is, but it's kind of a turnpike fire.
Are you going to make me look at every team in the NFL and tell you who I would put above the Cowboys in places of teams that I wouldn't rather be? I bet you I can get at
we
least
did this
15.
Today in a production meeting at
15?
work. There's I looked at Carolina. They're in really bad. I mean, they're like 5 years away from
New Orleans
being a 12-5 team. Like I look at the Raiders in a terrible spot too. The Cowboys seriously are as bad as they've been this year, and as bad as we've talked about them. I legitimately think they're a few players away and a couple coaching decisions away from being right back in it.
KT,
the Bears are
put the Packer fandom away. The Bears. Just because you guys beat them every time you play them, don't try and keep that thing together. That thing is not heading in a good direction.
They're one knuckle away from being 5-5, dude.
There's no way that you would rather be the head coach or you would rather be tied up in that organization than the Cowboys. Stop.
I would take Eberflus for DC next year.
100%.
Okay, that's not the same thing.
I know it's not, but I'm just trying to,
Jacksonville, New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, New England Patriots, New York Jets, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Chicago Bears.
Caleb, though, he saves it all.
We're going to talk off air about that. You're being silly right now. Tampa Bay, I don't know. They're Indianapolis Colts.
You're not going to get to 15, dude.
Hold on. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the Bears, 11 with the Colts.
AR-15, bro.
Man, if I knew, if you could just tell me what the future of Sean McVay is, I would easily take the Cowboys over the Rams. That
do you
thing
trade
is
for him?
so maxed out right now with the whole like we're kind of keeping this thing together, but Sean McVay is the one part where you're like, okay, well maybe, but I mean, how much longer? I mean, this could very easily be Stafford's last year, and how much how much longer is Cooper Kupp playing? Like that's not a great situation. Oh, here we go: Atlanta, Arizona.
The division leading Arizona Cardinals, my friend.
Yeah, I don't think of everybody can have like one good year. I don't think of that. I think of sustained like what you have going forward. I'll tell you right now, I'll go against everything that Side just said. I would rather be the Cowboys than Washington.
Whoa.
Yeah, I probably disagree with that.
You have to have. It's all about Jane Daniels.
Teams.
It depends on what you think about Jane Daniels. If you think Jane Daniels for sure, I don't think it's going to be like that. But I can be wrong on it.
Yeah. Right. But I'm saying at least there's, and this is where I can also get to KT's point about the Bears too, where, again, I'm not saying that for sure, but at least there's some mystery about the ceiling. Like, there's no mystery about Dak's ceiling. There's no mystery about where this can go or about how Jerry's going to run it. At least with like some place like Washington, I'm with you. Trust me, I am 100% on the boat of I need to see at least 2 years of a quarterback. I learned that lesson with RG3. Yeah. Ever since then, I've been on that boat. But I'm saying if he puts together a good second year, then I'm down with Washington a lot more than the Cowboys.
Okay.
Well,
all you got to tell me is who's the next head coach. And
are we ready to say that the letting Dan Quinn walk thing is a bad decision?
Looks horrible.
No.
Too soon.
No, I went to the Packers game. I was there. Sorry. What?
It was just time for both. Like that was it was the right thing for Dan to do to leave, and the Cowboys kind of lucked out
like,
where they
let him walk as DC. Yeah. I mean, get rid of McCarthy. Let Quinn be the head coach.
No.
Okay.
Boy, once you look at it and go, Cliff would have been the OC. The offense would have most definitely looked different. Like, say what you want about Cliff, and Cliff's got a track record. We all know it of second half falling off. He gets some pretty good quarterback play, and I think Dak would thrive in a brand new system. And I don't know if that one's the one that would work, but that's where like the idea of the ceiling of Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, dude, Dak's boring now.
Yeah,
and
but
like,
KT,
we got to get to a point where like I need to get excited about something, and I need the offensive scheme to be completely different, and that's what I want them to do.
KT, real quick on that though, to play devil's advocate, that's a little bit revisionist history though, because Dak just probably had his best year of his career in McCarthy's system in year one. So, and was the MVP runner-up. So every logical explanation would say that in the second year in the system, he's going to be even better than that. So, I mean, you can say that now, but going into the season, like, I had major questions about the defense with Zimmer, and because Dan Quinn was legitimately very good at defensive coordinator. I do think that. Great, probably not, because he, again, the Packers game, whatever, you had run defense was bad, even with Quinn, things like that. The offense I thought would be top 5 offense in the NFL. That was McCarthy's first year, and with a bad first half of the season, and they were top of the ranks in 2023. So, yeah, looking back at it now, you can talk about like, we need a better offensive system, things like that. But CD was the best receiver in the NFL last year. Dak was the MVP runner-up last year. Both guys were coming back in the second year of the same system. Like, I don't know, like that. I had too many doubts about the offense coming into 2024.
I just can't get past this whole Bears thing, KT.
Come on, man.
I question so much about your football knowledge at this point, being a Packers fan. Like, there's so many years of this, man. Like, Jerry talks too much, okay? I get it. It annoys fans. He's not reffing Little League games on Saturdays and, picking up these coaching hires with his... I don't even want to get into it, but I just know too much about the Bears. I'm telling you right now.
I know.
Like, this is not like... That's not the organization you want to fight me on this one about. I can very easily make the argument that the Cowboys are they are better run than the Bears are.
What if your guy Ben Johnson takes the Bears job? How do you feel?
I'm intrigued.
I absolutely would be.
I'm intrigued,
terrified.
But I know that there's a lot more stuff on your plate when you're a head coach than just calling plays. So, yeah, I mean, it could make them very dangerous. Don't get me wrong. Like, it could be. But I also have like a lot of coaches, quarterbacks, and teams that I've seen in Chicago it's a pretty good sample size. Pretty strong sample size there, that we're not just going off of one bad. It kind of goes that way with me with Washington. Now I know there's a change in ownership, so that maybe gets it going again. But there's
That's
just
the
parts of
biggest
it
thing
where
for me.
we just
That's
know
the
so
biggest
much
thing
about
for
the
me.
Cowboys front office because it's out there and it's very public. But I'm just telling you right now, like, there's so many bad organizations, but you just don't know about it because they're not on the mainstream where people are talking about them all the time. Like, we are not sitting here acting like, oh, geez, this is just there's only 4 situations worse than this. Stop it.
No,
Stop it.
and real quick, just so I can like add one last clarification to my Washington point, it's the change in ownership is a huge part of that. For me, like, there's no way that that Washington's having this season because of Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn is there, but Snyder's the owner. I'm not saying all the stuff that I'm talking about their future and things like that.
Yeah, because that's
change
just
of ownership
RG3. It already happened. Yeah, we saw it.
Right. So change of ownership is big.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is I'm also not talking about it necessarily just from a personal standpoint. I'm talking about it more of like, what would a head coach want to go into? Like, I feel a head coach would more want to take the Washington job than the Dallas job because of all the bells and whistles.
I think there's almost nobody that wants to do that. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at this Cowboys roster and you don't think it's that, like, you think Dak's a good quarterback, which obviously I get it. Around here, people get jaded because wasn't having a good season and all of that. He's very well respected across the league. The bottom line is if you win with the Cowboys, it just is a bigger deal than these other places. And these guys all have tremendous egos. Don't ever let that get twisted.
Yeah.
Like, they all have that. And to have that, to be able to put that feather in your cap that I was the one that was able to fix that thing, I'm telling you, there's very few guys that don't want that opportunity.
Well, we're talking about coaching. Can you believe that?
What do you guys think about this Belichick to the Jags rumor?
Man,
I could see it.
Nope. Really, nobody must be calling him if that's what happens.
Yeah. But I could see it. Like, it's not a bad thing for Belichick either. He gets full control of the organization. He has a franchise quarterback in his pocket. Like, it's not the worst thing for him. He doesn't need to do the whole like, oh, I need to go, take Dallas over the top. Like, he's already a top 3 greatest coach of all time. Like, there's
simply
no need,
making the playoffs every year, they would be thrilled in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking for just the first media person to use Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to happen. Someone's going to do it. And I'm on the lookout for whoever does that, if that were to be the case.
Somebody that covers their team?
No, national. Someone big, someone on TV. They drop
Schefter
it.
will do it.
First Schefter tweet.
McAfee will do it.
Yeah.
McAfee. You know what? He's fine.
Whoever came up with what was it with Tampa? The Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Oh, God.
Man, that's
whatever.
awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Get
Okay.
all those shirts.
So there's some, the Cowboys play. It's going to be a nooner. Then you're going to get, we're looking like we're going to get Tommy Cutlets on Thanksgiving. So there you go. Assuming we're getting, it was odd to me. McCarthy said he regretted not getting Trey Lance a series. Came back later, mentioned that he's not a gadget player. I am a little confused on at least my perception of the wiring of, was he saying that because Jerry would have wanted him to play Trey Lance, or was he actually wanting to play Trey Lance but knows that the front office doesn't want to see it?
Well, I think it's pretty clear off of after the game that Jerry doesn't care about seeing Trey Lance if they're still trying to win games. I mean, I watched him get asked 3 different times, 3 different ways, and 3 different groups of people. Like, it's pretty clear that if Jerry would have a different tone if Dak wasn't signed and he really was like, let's try and make this Trey Lance thing work. At least after that game, I did not get a sense of, let's put it this way. The things that annoyed Jerry, just judging him by the things he said was, and now, so for the record, this is me interpreting Jerry. This is not what he said. This is me interpreting it. He absolutely hated that fake punt. Hated it. Hated that was even a possibility. Hated that. No question. He does not like when routes are being run and there's multiple guys in the exact same spots.
Like 4th and 2?
So, which nobody that likes football should like that. That's obvious.
It happens a lot, though. It's happening a lot this year.
Being this deep into the season and all the communication issues on the offensive line still, including when you're at home, he does not like that at all. People saying that Mike has lost the locker room, doesn't really want to have any interest in that. And last but not least, finding out what we have in Trey Lance does not seem like it's very high on his list of things that he cares about. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. I would just say that, the McCarthy thing is something that, he was asked almost a ridiculous amount, and he has been like, it's an every week thing. And it's a lot of times it's like people who haven't asked it yet want to get their turn to ask it, ask the question. And it's
like, hold on. Sal, what do you mean? They can ask the question and then maybe use it like their own thing. And maybe I don't know, let me spitball here. Maybe pin it to their Twitter profile. This was me asking Jerry Jones the question. Is that what you're talking about, or am I just making this up?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Continue. Sorry.
Because they're the McCarthy thing, and look, I feel confident in saying this as well, that people have to also understand that, and I'm not breaking news here. We both have been saying this on the podcast forever. There's not a better option. There's not a coach in waiting. Jerry is not going to do that just for the sake of doing it, especially when he doesn't Jerry. You know what else stood out to me really, really big? And I told John this as soon as we got in the locker room, and I mentioned it on the podcast too. He really accepted the season's over. Really came through last time with Jerry more than any time before that he's ever talked on the radio, ever talked to us after a game. There was a lot of there was that answer where he was like, well, we got to be realistic about where we're at. So that was also another thing that stood out to me. And if that's the case, he's not gonna just unless he's doing something with an ulterior motive where things have gotten so stale, no one's talking about the Cowboys. So you know what? Let's start Trey Lance, or let's make a head coaching change. I just don't think he would make that head coaching change because he felt it was better for the Cowboys.
Hey, it's one of those things that 5 years from now in some Netflix series, or 10 years from now, the truth is, Saad, is that he came out of the locker room, and the reason he felt that way is because usually after those games he addresses the team, and he was up there talking and nobody was paying attention because they were all looking at their phones and seeing what was on Twitter and stuff like that. And he just got done talking, and and that's when I knew, this is just never going to happen for me. I'll just go out there and talk to the media. That's still fun for me, but this football business isn't that much fun anymore.
Nah. Well,
They're just 5 guys.
Yeah.
Checking Twitter. Three guys in the corner doing a TikTok video. So
Micah getting his run sheet together.
Looks over. CJ Stroud's in there exchanging his jersey with somebody else. They're signing it and having a big laugh. And he just looks around and he's just this isn't the football that I remember and love.
Yeah, no, it's not the way it used to be. Yeah. Hey, and you're right. He should not. I don't think he should be fired. I think let's see this thing through. I do think when the house is on fire, I do think it's going about as well as it could for McCarthy, given every single circumstance. Because, boy, people were ready to get rid of Jason Garrett. Now, there was another 10 years tacked onto that. Mike McCarthy's not taking the brunt of this stuff, and there are still things that happen, and you go, well, Jesus, this is not a well-coached football team either. And none of that's going to get brought up right now because we're talking about bigger picture stuff, including his replacements. That's all a bigger conversation than the job he's actually doing or not doing.
Yeah, but also, to me, a big reason because of that is because what you had to go off of for Jason Garrett was a bunch of 8-8 seasons. When you're this is the same Mike McCarthy that was the head coach for the last 3 years here. So for people that are, understanding, I'm not saying he should keep his job after this year or he's doing a great job this year, but there is context to where he won a Super Bowl previously. He just got done coaching 3 straight 12-win teams. With Jason Garrett, it was why is he still here? What has he done? What explanation could you possibly give?
Good comp. Looked up the numbers on this. Man, Garrett's last 5 years and these 5 years of McCarthy, pretty close. 1 playoff win, McCarthy's gonna end up with like 2 or 3 more wins in the regular season. It doesn't look that much different. So with that all being said, and I use last 5 of Garrett because they're clearly you can make some. Hey, he was first becoming a coach. He was learning on the job, whatever. So let's go 5 years and 5 years. The last 5 years there, a coach that you brought in because let's remember he didn't take over what this next head coach will be taking over. He took over a team that was around 500. That was their rock bottoms. Obviously they lost Romo and stuff like that. And it was to win in the playoffs. And so that hasn't happened either. So that's another reason why I just don't think that there's any way that Jerry could sell off of this season, giving Mike another contract, unless there was that sustained playoff success. With that being said, hypothetical time, they finished this year 5-12. Is there a better chance of Jerry hiring Deion Sanders or Jerry giving a new 4-year deal to Mike and saying, well, there was all these injuries and stuff like that. We want to keep going down this path. Which one is more likely?
Deion.
Yeah, I mean it's close, but I'd probably go with Mike, to be honest with you.
I'm with Zod.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd go with Mike,
and that just because I do think that, especially at Jerry's age, I don't think he wants to go with a big risk at head coach of and not risk. I mean like an unproven, hasn't coached in the NFL. That's the only reason why I say that. And I don't think that, obviously, that scenario I said, I don't know.
No, of course.
Those are happening. But I'm just saying that judging by how Jerry is in that, and here, let me, in case you need to be brought over to Saad and I's side here on this, I'll give you one other thing. And he sells that they're going to bring in a new offensive coordinator. Mike's going to be the walk-around head coach. If you don't think if you think that's impossible, you do not know Jerry Jones.
No, for sure. No, it's definitely possible.
If that happened, though, just real quick, if that happened, I feel like Mike wouldn't want to come back. The way that he talked about Kellen, having to inherit Kellen recently and things like that, I feel like if Jerry was like, fine, Mike, we'll keep you on, but bring in another OC, I feel like Mike would be like, I'm good. Like
that's my problem, is that we said
he wouldn't say that he just wanted to do whatever to keep the job.
he would do whatever to keep the job. I can guarantee you that. I feel very good about that. I think. See how bad it gets. It's already so bad. But this is my problem. Is we gave him the keys. We ran out people. We ran out good coaches. Like whatever he thought about him. I know Nussmeier had been here forever and all this. We started saying names, but we were like, okay, you bring your dudes now. He got his dudes. He got most of everything he wanted. And I don't know. But also, the other thing is, if offered the job, we don't know that Deion would accept it. I think he probably would. But we don't know that he would
as
accept
Jerry
it.
said too.
I love you guys thinking that there's these coaches that would turn down this job because of we know how bad it is and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, when you get to that level, you have such a big ego that you think because that's my whole thing with the McCarthy thing. I get it. There's been distractions and things that happen. So he'll play those up a little bit. There's no way he's in the NFL as long as he is, gets fired from the Packers and goes, yeah, I don't know about Cowboys. It's crazy down there. I'm not doing that. I'm telling you, the list of guys that would turn it down is such a small list. And I'm telling you, there might, even if because I think it's at maybe 5 or 6 names, whatever, to get it to the 10 or 15, it would just be because Jerry's not willing to pay what those guys think that it's worth to be the head coach, because he'll want to go a little bit cheaper, and he knows that he can get a coach that he doesn't have to overpay because there are so many coaches that would want. I'm telling you right now, there's not many guys that would turn it down.
I'm operating under the assumption that Deion is dead set on rocking with Shedeur. So you have the Giants or the Raiders or someone like that who ends up in that position to do both of those things.
You think that you'd rather coach the Raiders than the Cowboys?
I think if my son is the quarterback, yes. That's the scenario I'm lining up.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm attaching the Shedeur thing because I do think it's part of
that's
it.
Fair.
I really do.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But
yeah, because I think to bring the nepotism thing full circle for a second, I think LeBron would have left the Lakers if they wouldn't have drafted Bronny. He would have gotten played somewhere else if he got to play with Bronny in another city.
If not this year,
and
next
now,
it's the Lakers.
And now they're going to play together and win a championship, so it was awesome.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Because LeBron just got rid of social media. Micah, you could take a few notes. I'm kidding, Micah. Use your social media. I don't care, and I love your podcast.
Thank you,
I think
King.
It's great. We're not going to do Kent's Game Show. We're going to push it back again. Due to time.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it.
We're going to get to it. It's become the Lindsey Buckingham of this podcast.
Yes.
We're going to get to it, you know.
Got plenty of
He's
time.
going to sing a song.
It's evergreen. No,
No, it's more of
Do
a
Holiday Road right now.
no, don't. It's a terrible song.
I think the game show will save us from a Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito.
Boy, it does feel like a good Panthers week. Maybe the Bengals week.
Panthers week. Yeah.
We'll get to it. Yeah, we'll get to it. Plenty of time. We will say escaped with not having to pay our fans. But in the Discord again, get your predictions in. It'll do something to juice up these Cowboys games. Put your
somebody
score in
had, I think in the in-game chat channel though, like right at the beginning of the game, right after Houston scored immediately, somebody said 35-10, like what was going to be the score. And it was like very close.
And it would have been invalid because
10?
the instructions clearly say under the picks and predictions tab.
Come on, guys, follow the rules.
Get on that Discord server. Let's go to picks here because, man alive, do we have quite a barn burner here? We're all on 5-game heaters because we've all picked teams to beat the Cowboys every single time. And that's where we are. I will go first. Washington 38, Dallas 16. Over to you, Kent.
Wow, that's a lot of points. You see Jaden Daniels scoring on this defense. It's still an NFC East game, and they're all kind of chippy. So I'll go Cowboys 17, Washington 24.
Okay, I see what you did there to tease the audience, and I appreciate your service. John?
I'm going to go with the same score as last game. So give me Washington 34, Cowboys 10. Isn't that what the 34-10? That's what the
that was
Texans
the one.
won. Yeah. I like that score. It sounds all right.
And the game, in my opinion, quite an indictment of the Houston Texans. To not put away this team in the first half, you are showing your butt if you think you're a serious playoff contender.
How about those sideline shots with how fired up D'Amico Ryans was about certain plays?
How about their social media feed?
They're playing the Cowboys and they're just not good. All you guys got to do is just keep playing. You're going to win this game. You don't have to even make a big play. I don't know, an offensive tackle will try and run with the ball and then you'll just knock it out of his hand and score a touchdown that way. You guys are going to be fine. Calm down over there.
Oh, they officially slipped into pretender mode for me. Sure, they can go make the playoffs. They're one and done ski right there. These Houston Texans, their social media feed proved it. Their play on the field, just the fact that the Cowboys were sitting there in it mid-third quarter is the dumbest thing ever. Okay, so sorry.
That's another one. I'm sorry,
Texans.
but you'd rather coach the Texans than the Cowboys? Okay.
No. I would rather coach the Cowboys.
The team looks better on paper and it's relatively young, but again, you're coaching the Houston Texans.
No. I'm just saying it's an indictment of where this team is going this year.
Right, but I'm going back to my being able to name 16 teams.
No, you're not going to get to 16.
I'm telling you, I already have.
I think there were quite a few that if we were voting on the panel, you would have been outvoted.
If I'm the head coach,
so
I'm talking about me. I don't care about the panel. I'm selfish. I care about me. It's not, and there's just so many jobs. And the NFL is such a big deal, and the ratings keep going up and all that. But there are so many jobs in the league where I'm just kind of yeah, I'll take that. There's nothing else. But if you tell me that I get a chance to coach the Cowboys for 5 years, man, there aren't many jobs that I'm turning that down for.
Dude, Machota 2028. I don't care about the panel. I care about me for a better America. Dude, you should run for that. Okay.
One Star Cowboys podcast.
We should do that exercise on a future where we actually do our homework, because there were a few that I took that I would disagree with John on. But there aren't too many.
There's not many.
There maybe
there's just
3.
a lot of jobs, and I think one of the big things for me too is covering this league long enough now to where I've been to all these cities, and you get a chance to be around some of these teams. You get to know people that cover these other teams. You get to know different beats and how teams that you think matter all of a sudden, next thing you know, nobody even covers them. Like there's just so many levels to like where when you just watch games on Sunday and you just watch everything that's going on and stuff like that, you're like, oh, this is a really attractive scene and stuff like that. And I'm just telling you, like, there aren't many people out there that are turning down the Cowboys if they come calling. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think there's so many levels to it from like are you just talking on the field, everything, bells and whistles that come with Jerry and all that stuff. I think
everything.
A lot. Yeah, everything. Like there's a lot that goes into that. Like and some of it is based on hypothetical because I'll say this too. Like if Jaden Daniels has a CJ Stroud type second year, like I don't think it's even close. Like I think Cowboys are way more attractive.
If CJ Stroud does what?
If Jaden Daniels has a CJ Stroud type second year, then I'm taking Cowboys 10 out of 10 times over Washington.
Yeah.
But if Jaden Daniels ascends and takes like the next step in second year, all of a sudden I'm just like,
oh yeah. Plus you'd have like this young, talented quarterback in a league that really there aren't a lot of, I mean, not league, conference that you'd be like, man, we got, this guy is going to be the face of this conference or whatever. No, I completely agree with there. I just want to see a little bit more before I would jump in on that.
No,
also,
I totally
need to
agree
know
with that.
like, is there still like wastewater falling on face? No, I'm sorry. I know there's new ownership. We're not going to do this. Sorry.
No, I agree with that because I was thinking about quarterbacks. I'm just like Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. They're all AFC guys. Like in the NFC, if you can get the guy that can be your version of that type of guy, and you're not in Jacksonville, like there are some cities where I feel
Let me just say this right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, okay? On a national level.
Right.
Ben Baby is.
Can you imagine if the Cowboys are wasting Joe Burrow like they are?
I mean,
they go to one Super Bowl. They go to that Super Bowl, and people think like, oh, well, this is just going to be like this every year. Is it, though? You sure about that?
It's tough. It's tough.
You sure about that?
You sure about that?
I'm just telling you, man, like Cincinnati isn't some great run organization, but like they're also not in the spotlight, so people don't think about them.
Yeah.
They're also, by the way, they're kind of in that same tier where they kind of have a guy that's their GM, but kind of their owner is their GM. But nobody talks about that because nobody hears anything from them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And by the way, they also had their version of Jason Garrett too. So,
let's get your score so John can go do TV.
Yeah, we're just getting big time by John. I'm gonna go Washington 31, Cowboys 17. And last week I made a bold prediction that Aubrey was going to set the record, and I came kind of close. It was 3 yards away, and then the kick didn't count anyways. But almost.
Does it count though? If it was. But then they took it off the board, though.
I'd count that for myself.
You count that? Okay.
I'd count that. I'd count that for myself. Fair. But my bold prediction for this week is Deron Bland will have a pick six. That's going to be one of the touchdowns in the 17.
It's bold that you're saying he's going to play. So, yes, this is
I know.
very
that
bold.
is hot.
I know.
I like
There's
it.
levels to the boldness because he had full practice for 2 days before the Lions game and then didn't play. It is... Let me be very clear so I'm not spreading misinformation. It is not a sure thing that he's going to play. Okay, let me amend that, okay? If he plays, he'll have a pick six.
This is going from
now
bold to
now
just
it's not
being,
as bold.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he plays, he'll have a pick six.
It was like a spicy jalapeno for a minute, and now it's not.
Well, I just have to also respect my role as a beat writer, and I don't want people taking that as, oh, he knows that he's going to play. I don't know if Deron Bland is going to play.
Dude, I don't think that Deron Bland knows right now. As the time we record this, no, seriously, like,
no,
yeah,
he goes into practice. He's got a. I'm sure he works out with Britt before it. Tests out the foot, see where it is, and they go from there. I don't think he could definitively tell you right now. Because I will say, before that Lions week, he was trending into playing, and then something happened in that Friday. I don't remember if it was the Friday or the Saturday practice where there was clearly a setback that happened there. And so because of that, there's no guarantee as we record this that he even knows if he's playing in the game.
Yeah, so that's my pick.
Well, we'll have a big week in review pod. I said big. It'll be a short one on Friday. To close out the week. We got a nooner, so stand by after the game as we'll be in touch. And you get the noon one. Got overshadowed by Green Bay and San Francisco. There's 3 teams 5-5 in the NFC West. Weird stuff happening out there as the Lions continue to just kind of do whatever they want with every team they play. So make sure you're checking out Sod and John's work over on The Athletic. You're a big movie fan. Well, I'm Mad About Movies podcast with Kent Garrison. Go ahead and give that a little shot as well. I'm at KT Fun Tweets on the thing. And also, I'm doing the Blue Sky thing too now. I'm over there. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm over there. Assad's over there.
Is it KT Fun Blue Sky-ing?
No, I just took KT Fun Tweets with me.
Oh.
So let it ride.
Tweeting on Blue Sky. Got it.
Yeah, whatever. It might hurt the
Technically,
algorithm.
you're not even tweeting on Twitter anymore because it's posts on X. So
Yeah, tweeting to myself. So it feels like sometimes. It's like a diary.
KT Fun Clouds.
And remember to watch John on TV. No, I mean, that was going to be when you get this.
You're good.
Happened.
Don't worry about it.
So for TV personality John Machota, Zod Yusuf for Kent, I'm Kevin. We'll talk to you for the Week in Review podcast on Friday. We'll see you then. All right, on the One Star Cowboys podcast. Go Cowboys.
Why not just start the day fucking it up?